welcome to Taylor Talks Comics Live. Thank you for joining me. If you are here, it is the last live stream. Hold on a second. I'm not that late. It says 12:05 on my clock, James. The last live stream of spooky Halloween season. Thank you for joining me. Got some. Oh, it's my buttons. Okay. How's everybody doing? Hey now. It is National Cat Day, by the way. So if you have a cat in your life, make sure to give them some extra treats today, some extra snuggles. I have 2 tuxedo cats upstairs that are taking a nap right now. How are you guys doing, though? Horror, yes. I'm guessing 5 minutes late. 12:06, 1 minute late. Hello, Dana. How you doing? Hey now. The last live stream. This is terrible. Of October, I mean. Not the last live stream ever. Is it spooky season in all our hearts all year? It's in mine, at least. Thank you, Jordan, for joining me. That's a lie. Every day is National Cat Day. Well, of course. Cats are awesome. Hello, Chris. How you doing? By the way, did anybody see the thumbnail? Can anybody guess the 4 faces on the thumbnail? Maybe I should pull it up. I've had cats that I like to remember. Of course. One of our oldest cat is 17, I think. 17. And she's doing really well. I just, for the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like I've been pre-mourning when she's going to eventually leave us. Because I love her, but she's still hanging in there. She's still going strong. She's actually my wife's cat before we even started dating. I've since adopted her as my own. They live. Oh, Jordan's got it. They live. Total Recall Reanimator. You're only missing 1. You got 3 of them, though. Nope, not the thing. Jordan's just missing the bottom left of the thumbnail. I'll give you guys some time to guess. Reanimator, though, that's a good pull, Jordan. I was thinking that was going to be the hard one for people to guess. That's one of my favorite horror movies. I absolutely love that movie. I don't know why. It's just so like quirky and hilarious. But actually used the theme song for the post on Instagram for today. But I watch it. I even watch it throughout the year, not even just Halloween. But I just love that movie. It's very, very good. This marks 17 years with my cat. All right. Well, our cats are the same age, it sounds like. Salem's Lot. No, it's more mainstream horror movie. It's very famous. The 4th one is on the tip of my brain. That's my first clue, is that it's a mainstream horror movie. It's not, that one's not a deep pull. But yes, we have some news to go over today. My mom. No, Josh. So Fantagraphics has been having a lot of books pop up on their website. They haven't quite released their catalog yet for the next season. That's always my favorite time, is when they release a new catalog. And I'll say the books that are popping up right now on Fantagraphics website, this catalog is better than the last one. For sure. But there's bangers after bangers in this catalog. I'm very stoked for that. And then I have 3 more days of horror videos until I reach my 2nd consecutive year of doing 31 days of horror comics on YouTube. So 3 more to put out. There'll be 1 put out later this afternoon. Better. That's a bold claim. No, it really is. Like, for sure. Not even exaggerating. No hyperbole. This catalog is very, very nice, especially the things that haven't even officially popped up on the website yet, but that we know of, which I'll go over those as well. But yeah, so 3 more videos. And it's been a fun month of horror comic videos. I'd like to hear from you guys, some feedback. If there's any, I'd like to know if there's any comics that I enlightened you to that you wanted to try out, or you have since tried out, that you weren't aware of, or you just weren't completely sold on yet. I'd like to know. I want to know your opinions and your ideas for books for next year. I know Josh has been sending me quite a bit. No promise that I'll get to all of them or I will read them all, but I do like to hear feedback and ideas on those things, or even video topic ideas. That's always welcome as well. If there's a horror comic related topic that you're like, that you've heard me maybe talk about on a live show or something, or you want me to elaborate more on. And also just tell me what spooky books you guys have been reading throughout the year. I'd like to know that as well. I know about Taboo, but fun to actually see them. Yeah, I'm hoping next year I'll be able to get the last 3 issues that I'm missing. And I think, Josh, I think it was you that asked for a deeper dive into them. And I thought about doing that, like a separate video on all of them, but I don't know. Maybe I could do short videos on. I don't know. I'd have to be interested, or I'd be interested to see if that's something that you guys would enjoy. Because even like Hellboy, the library editions, for instance, I was gonna do, because I've been reading them, because I read that first one, reread the first one to do that video for it, and then I just got sucked into reading the rest of them, which kind of derailed some of my other reading and ideas I had for Spooky October. But anyways, so I was thinking maybe I should just do a separate video on every single Hellboy library edition. But in order to do that, because of YouTube algorithms and things, which I always talk to you guys about, you have to I can't just put up Hellboy Library Edition Volume 2 and then put that on YouTube. It would die a lonely death as far as views go, because anytime, just like in comic books, when you hear about people talking about issue number 1s and things, volume 2s and 3s and videos on YouTube, for whatever reason, just die lonely deaths. So I was gonna have to get creative with it. Like, I thought maybe like volume 2 I could talk about in the thumbnail and the title, like the corpse. Oh, here we go. Jordan got it. Friday the 13th. Duh. I rewatched that with my wife. That's the fourth. Yes, the head crush, where his eye pops out. Jordan got all 4. Ding, ding, ding. Jordan gets a no prize. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I thought about maybe like labeling the title something clever, like The Corpse. This is when Mignola really gets his footing with Hellboy or whatever. But I don't know. So anyways, back to the taboo topic. I don't know if doing a separate episode of every 10 issues would be fruitful, but if it's something you guys really want to see, I'm willing to do that. Favorite horror covers? You talk about EC and such. That's a good idea. My favorite horror. Why didn't I think of that, Josh? Great idea. So I could do like 25 top 25 favorite horror comic book covers. I was gonna do, so I had another idea to do horror writers in comics, but then I realized I was making the list and I was struggling, because I was like, okay, here's my parameter for horror writers in my list. They can't also be the artist, because then that's just going to double dip with my favorite artist list probably, and also because I was like, well, if I put like Charles Burns on there, well, he's on my favorite artist list. So I could try and come up like 10 basically different names than my artist list. And I was struggling to find 10 horror writers that I like that don't also, or that I absolutely love, like multiple horror comics that they've done that also don't draw their own stuff. Obviously, Alan Moore is my number one. I think Alan Moore is such a tremendous horror writer. I think he did a good amount of horror comics, but I feel like he could have even done more. Like, I think he could have spent a lot of time in that genre and put out even more classics. But yeah, I was struggling. I had my list on my phone. Because I didn't want to just mirror my horror writer list. So I had Al Feldstein, Mike Mignola. But Mike Mignola, even though he draws a lot of his stuff, but I know he writes a lot of the Hellboy universe stuff as well. So W. Maxwell Prince, obviously Ice Cream Man. I love that story. But even like my artists, like, I guess Lynn Wein could have been. I don't know, but like Charles Burns draws his own stuff. Richard Corben draws and writes. Jack Kirby even. He didn't. I guess he didn't write his horror comics. And then like Shotaro Kago and Junji Ito, like those guys write and draw. I don't know, but that was a list or an idea I had. But maybe I'll hammer that out a little bit better for next year. I fell asleep reading a report about Planet becoming a man last night. I don't know what is that? That's an interesting story. There are scans of all 10 issues of Taboo on Internet Archive. Internet Archive rules, by the way, especially if you want to look up old comic news magazines. I've been doing a lot of that for a project that I'm working on, which I don't want to talk about just yet, but I've been using that as a source quite a bit. Friday the 13th. Jordan Band. Second place is a set of steak knives. The best damn page of comics, aka The Corpse. Hey nerds, let's get into Taboo. Is Bruce Jones on your list? Yeah, Bruce Jones would be on there. He had a lot of stuff. One thing I guess kind of horror adjacent, but I've never read Bruce Jones' Hulk run, and I think that's getting an omnibus soon, right? Oh, Chris. So maybe favorite Mad Magazine horror cover stories. So at Half Price Books, my local one, I found a hardcover that was like, it was called Mad Magazine Horror, and it was all the times that they parodied a horror movie or done a horror story within it, like even dated back to like Kurtzman's early horror, comedic horror stories. I was like, this is amazing. But then I had two other, I think my Hellblazers. I had a couple Hellblazer volumes, and I let my son decide, like, do I get the Hellblazers or do I get this Mad book? And I was like, this Mad book will make for a really cool video this month also. And he's like, no, get the Hellblazers because you're collecting those. So I blame my son for not picking that up. Just kidding. I love him. But I think he's kind of on the hunt with me to try to collect all the Mad magazines. I got that earlier video I did about a year ago where I came across and found and bought like 20 or 30 issues of like early 60s Mad magazines for $20. So now he has like a list too, where whenever we go thrifting, he's always looking for Mad magazines for me that are on my list. So I think that's why he talked me off of it. Do you have the classic horror book cover? The DVD, The Horror. Love that book. Yes, actually, Jordan, not only do I have that book, but, oh yeah, it's right here. But I did a video on that last year for my Spooktober last year. So there's a video on this last year. This is an amazing book, though. I agree. It's really tremendous. Although, admittedly, I've not watched the DVD. So, and I probably want to. I mean, it's got to be a good DVD, right? But I haven't watched it yet. But I did buy that used, and it did have the DVD in it, which is cool. But I don't even have, like, we don't have a DVD player set up anywhere in the house. Like, I have a DVD player. It's just, like, I have my old PS2. Still going strong, by the way. I've had my same PS2 since I was, like, 16. Still going strong. But it's not hooked up anywhere, so we don't watch DVDs, like, almost ever. And I know, like, people are like, physical media. I agree. I just don't have space for DVDs, so everything I watch movie or TV wise is digitally. I used to have a pretty large collection of DVDs, but I had to sell them all because, well, I needed space for comic books, right? Do a video on Cinema Purgatorio. Sorry. Yeah, that's actually a great series. I don't have every volume though. I know that. Sorry. That's the one that started off with Alan Moore and Kevin O'Neill, and they do like the mainline title, but they had a bunch of backup strips by other people, and they've released that, I think, in a trade paperback with just the Alan Moore, Kevin O'Neill stuff. But they've also released, I think it was 10 issues, which are like perfect bound, so they, have a good spine to them. 10 issues with all the strips in it, and I don't have those, so that's actually a great idea, though. Maybe I'll collect those throughout the year. I should probably be writing this down, right? Next year, Horror Halloween. But yes, Harvey Kurtzman's Ghost. You know my love of Kevin O'Neill, so that's a great idea. Oh, favorite horror covers. All right. Yes, I'm looking forward to the Bruce Jones Omnibus 2. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick that up because I've heard that his run was like more on the horror side of Hulk, which is where I want the Hulk to be anyways. The Hulk is a monster. I want him to be a monster. I was never a big fan of like the Gary Frank era. Like Gary Frank's an awesome artist, but like the era of Peter David's run, I didn't care for that run. And I'm not even really that big of a fan of like World War Hulk and Planet Hulk. Like those are fun stories, I guess, but like the Immortal Hulk, the early Hulk stories, Hulk magazine, and then I think I'd like Bruce Jones Hulk as well. A plant becoming a man. What are you going to do with the Mad Rebind? Rebind them? No, my son actually asked. He's obsessed with this idea because I've been collecting all the Master Kung Fu issues, and I'm like, I'm going to custom bind them one day when I'm probably 75 years old. So he's always like, man, I want to get my Tiny Titans trade paperbacks and custom bind them into a hardcover. He's always talking about that. And he said that with the Mad magazine, but some of them, the covers and they're just like, they're not in the greatest shape. And plus I just want to read them as magazines. I think what I'll do though is get like those nice like magazine holders so I can still have a spine on my shelf, and then like maybe do a cool mock-up design that says like Mad Magazine issues, blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry. I didn't even pull a comment up there. That's what Josh was talking about. Cody, thank you for joining me. You can cover Hellblazer by either Delano or Innes. I actually had plans to do that this year. That's a great idea. Because I have the first 7 trade paperbacks now, I think. I think I have almost all the way through the Innes run. And then I have a couple trades after that. So I'm trying to collect the whole run in trade paperback. But I was just based on other things, and I was got busy this month with other books. I was never able to get enough into the Hellblazer run to do a video on. But that is a great idea. I'd like to do the different eras of Hellblazer. Maybe throughout the year, if I read a lot more, I'll be able to break that down that way. Jordan, right? Couldn't remember. I think the DVD is just that episode of the old propaganda show, if memory serves. I'll have to pop it in there and see. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I think my son has a portable DVD player that we take on trips and things. Maybe I'll pop it in there and read it. Taylor has too many videos called horror. Did you? Thank you, Josh, for being a great moderator. I'm assuming Josh has just looked up Taylor Talks Comics Horror and then pulled up a bunch of stuff. The DVD is interesting, a movie from the period about the Senate hearings about comics in Wortham. That's actually a video idea I have too that I wanted to do this year. But again, timing. I'm really hoping as I progress in this that I get a better planning. Because I want to do like these short, I don't want to, not documentaries, but short, like heavily produced, nicer looking videos with where I have like video clips and things. And that's one thing I want to do. That's a big project, is I want to cover Dr. Frederick Wortham in those Senate hearings. So if there's footage in those, I could use that. I know there's footage on YouTube as well, but that's one of the ideas I had. But instead, I just did the Frederick Wortham Eric Powell book, which was pretty good. Like it's worth a one-time read, I think. I was ready to like bail on the book though, because 100 pages in, he still didn't get to the comic book stuff. But then he went to the comic book stuff, and then it really finally got going at that point. Moore and Kevin O'Neill, you say? Yes, the dynamic duo that put out League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. This book right here, actually. So these absolute editions, I don't know. I'm just curtailing on different subjects here. I didn't realize they come with a script book. So I love this Alan Moore piece by Kevin O'Neill sitting in that chair. Kevin O'Neill is tremendous. Also kind of disappointed in these books because I think they look way better without the dust jacket. Like they have like this fake leather look to them. And the spines look really great. Like, why did they just lose the dust jackets? These look really, really nice. Which I guess I could lose the dust jackets if I wanted to. I do love the Kevin O'Neill artwork on them, though. But anyways, the second book is just Alan Moore's scripts, which are some of my favorite things to read in comics. I don't know if you guys skip out on script pages at the end of books in the special or in the like the back matter of books. Alan Moore ones are never ones that I skip because they're fascinating. They're very dense, especially like I covered this on my absolute Watchmen video, but he would write a whole page of script per panel of Watchmen sometimes. And there's like a whole page of script just describing the panel. And it's like heavily detailed, but it's also written as like a conversation with the artist. So it'll be like, all right, Kevin, in this panel, we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people will think that that doesn't allow a lot of freedom to the writer because it's so heavily detailed that you're asking for such specific things to be in the art. But Alan Moore would always finish his scripts off too with like, or if you think of a better idea, just do whatever you want. And like there was freedom in it though. Like Dave Gibbons is on record saying like there's still a lot that he added to the Watchmen panels that weren't Alan Moore's idea. And Alan Moore didn't come back and say, I didn't ask you to put that in there. Why'd you put that in there? It's very much a great collaboration. And I'll still say, you look at any artist that worked with Alan Moore and their best work was with Alan Moore. The best artistic work, storytelling work was with Alan Moore. I don't know that there's any examples of an artist that had a better project, that they worked with Alan Moore than they had a better project outside of Alan Moore. There's a full collection of just the Cinema Purgatoria stories, which are the Kevin O'Neill Moore stories. Right, there's a trade paperback of just that stuff. But then they have all the separate ones too, which I think they released like a box set of those. But if I'm going to cover it, I want to cover the whole thing. That's right. Thanks, Dana. I remember watching it when I got the book, but I should probably revisit it. I should probably do that too. I'd love for you to cover the Hellraiser comics next year. Their Epic comic line is fascinating, and the Boom Studios run is very interesting too, if for very different reasons. That I don't think the Epic comic line was ever collected, was it? There are some Clive Barker comics that I definitely want to cover, or at least read, because I haven't read a lot of those. And I haven't read any of the Hellraiser comics. So that would be an interesting dive. And I do like movie adaptation comics. I think there's like an interesting fascination I have with them because a lot of them aren't great, especially if it's a direct adaptation of the movie a lot of times. But there's a lot of like there's a lot of films or films that have comic versions or comic like continuations that I really enjoy, especially with like some of the great writers like Aliens, Predator, obviously, Terminator comics. They've had a great run. RoboCop versus Terminator, amazing comic book. I wish that'd be reprinted, especially the artist edition. I just got the Hellblazer in its omnibus, so I'll be ready for next year if you are. Why does any book need a dust jacket? Dana, I'm with you. Like, I'm with you. Like, if I could sell these books, like because I do buy and sell books quite often, and I always have the thought in my head, like, well, if I do sell that, like, I don't think I'll ever sell Absolute League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's one of my favorite comics ever, and that's finally the format that I wanted it in because I have the omnibus I'm selling, by the way, but which I had a viewer reach out to me about that. I need to get back to him, but I digress. That's the format I wanted in, so I don't think I'll ever sell that. But still, like, just like a thought in my head, like if I ever do need to sell this, like the value of it plummets without the dust jacket for whatever reason. The ones I hate though are the when Dark Horse does this a lot, when the dust jacket is the exact same as underneath the dust jacket. And I'm not talking like like look at the Black Hammer ones, for instance. I'm not talking like they are the same but without the trade dress. Like they are exactly word for word the same as the dust jacket. Like what's the point? At least give us new art underneath. Just got those books. Mixed feelings on the second one being mini scripts. Alan Moore's scripts are really entertaining, though. I will say. I don't know. Warlock Nemesis? That's on my short list to read this month. Just wondering, do you have any of the Modesty Blaze books? I don't, and I'm assuming it was you, Chris, and someone else talking about those in the Discord. Everybody joined the Discord, by the way. I haven't. I need to go back to the Discord and see what everybody was talking about. Oh, Razor. Yes. Hellraiser. There should be a Hellraiser, Hellblazer crossover, though. And Hellboy could join in. What other Hell characters could you join in? There are some collections of the Epic comics, but not complete, I believe. Interesting. That doesn't stop me, though. It doesn't stop me. Oh, I wish they had reprint the Outlander adaptation. This is where Jordan chimes in. I want that reprinted as well. It's got Jim Steranko art for anybody wondering. It's kind of like Jim Steranko's 2001: A Space Odyssey to Kirby. It's like the film adaptation that Steranko did that's never been reprinted and has almost been lost to time, unfortunately. So I'm definitely on board with that. In my opinion, books need dust jacket. They don't need ribbons. Interesting. I've been reading this whole Hellboy library editions, rereading them. Sorry, I have already read them, but for whatever reason in this reread, it's come to my attention that those books are not really that amazingly designed. Like on the outside, it looks amazing. It looks like okay, like you pick up the Hellboy library editions and you're like, this is a well-designed book. This gonna have all the bells and whistles, but it doesn't come with any ribbon. The end papers are on the front and back for every single volume. Like the same picture of Hellboy is on every single volume on the end papers. Could have done better than that. So far, I'm rereading them again. I haven't flipped through to find out, but so far only one of them has a table of contents, which is super annoying to me. And with that, because there's no table of contents and the credits are usually on the covers at this point, sometimes you're reading an issue that Mignola didn't do the art for, and I'm like, who did the art for this one? And I go back to the table of contents, and it just lists, like the fourth volume is the one I'm on now. That's the one, yeah, that's the Corben one. The fourth one it just lists the artists are Mignola, Corben, Dice Art, and I'm forgetting the last one. Oh, Jason Sean Alexander. But it doesn't say what stories they do. So obviously I know Corben does the Corben ones. But like I got to the Dice Art ones and then I was just like, okay, like this is who that is. Like I could tell who they was, but there's no credit. It drove me nuts. You would love the epic Hellraiser comics anthology title with some crazy cool talent involved. Alex Ross, the Wachowski sisters, etc. Ooh. I'm going to write that down. Hellraiser epic comics. So I do love those like kind of hidden gems in like Taboo magazine or I keep calling it magazine. Taboo is one of those, like those kind of hidden gems of the horror genre that I can show off. That's always kind of what I wanted this channel to do, is like show off these cool gems of comic books that have never been reprinted or people don't talk about enough, to kind of help preserve their history, or maybe get you guys to go hunt some stuff down if that sounds like something you'd want. So that'd be cool. That'd fall in line with that. Or Outland. Hermes Press does that too. Same cover underneath as the dust jacket. What is the point? I know, and I know the dust jacket's supposed to like protect the book or whatever. But what doesn't make sense to me is when it's in a slipcase and has a dust jacket. Isn't the slipcase supposed to protect the book? And also, what are we protecting the book from? Like, it's on the shelf. I don't know. Yes, jackets that mirror the art on the board. That is just lazy. I agree. Like, I am a stickler for book design, and I appreciate really well designed books. Which I think we got in a conversation. Was it on the Discord about this? Then I'm going to do a video about my favorite book designers, or my favorite collections that are like the top 10 best designed books in my collection, I think I'm going to call it, because I think that's such an important aspect to this hobby. And there's not enough love and care and attention to that sometimes. And I know some people don't care. There's some people that are like, I don't care. It's what's on the inside that counts. Totally fine if that's your prerogative, or that is your prerogative. But and that was a big discussion whenever Marvel did the stupid thing of having the tiny font on the spines and things, and totally changed what they were doing. And people are like, what's on the inside that counts. And I understand. Like, no, I don't think anyone's saying like the spine is the most important aspect of the book, but we do like to have a nice looking collection, and they should look good on the shelf. And also, when you're looking through the book, there should be some thought put into how the book is laid out and designed. There's my Discord. Yell at Taylor at any time on Discord. Hellcat, that's another one. Berserk has a ton of Hellraiser. What does that mean? Like the same character? Is there a Hellraiser character in Berserk? James, curious question: why do books need dust jackets? James, you've been summoned. Sewing my copy of Outland this very moment. Haha. Oh man, Jordan, I've been meaning. Have you thought about getting into book design? Like, have you thought about using the books you make as like business cards? Because that's what Ian Chalgren did, which I think we've talked about. He like designed these custom books and then like shopped them around to publishers, and now he's getting a lot of work. But Jordan, I think you've got the talent for being a book designer. You should start shopping these around. Show off. I do wonder with Hellboy, they streamlined some of it to make it easier to reprint it. I guess, but things like table of contents, I feel like is just lazy. The bookend or the in papers, maybe the no ribbon would be easier to reprint as well. But I still say that the table of contents is lazy. For me, they make the book feel nicer while you're holding something special, like the same with the DVD Blu-ray slipcase. Wait a minute. James, do you read the book with the dust jacket on it? Or are you just saying when you're pulling it off the shelf? I hear you. That can be true. After reading Swamp Thing, I'd rather have textures than dust jackets. I agree. I think there's some sort of like sensation of like touch and feel with the Swamp Thing books that kind of helps you kind of like experience the book a little bit, right? Matt Kent tried to do that with the what was it called? It's a cat book, but it had like a furry cover on it. Jordan puts insane design. Thanks, Josh. How things look matter. I agree. The Hellblazer crossover needs to have John reading a Life in Hell anthology. That'd be funny. I take the dust jacket off, bro. Okay, good. Dust jackets are to the book as a tie is to a business suit. That's pretty apropos. All right, while you guys are still filling up the chat, let me get to Fantagraphics because we have a lot to talk about here. Oh, by the way, I should have, before I do that, let me get to my banners. Use my promo code. If you shop over at panelboundcomics.com, they still have a sale going on where a lot of books from Marvel, DC, Image, etc., Dark Horse, I think, is even in there, are 50% off. And that sale ends Friday night, Halloween night. So don't miss out on that. You can use my promo code. All those books are like 50% off or so. You get extra savings on top of that if you use my promo code Taylor Talks Comics, all one word. You'll save an extra $2 off. Or if you're ordering a lot of books, 4 or more, again, 50% off. Save an extra 5% off of that price with TTC Ship It Together, all one word. TTC Ship It Together. Also keep in mind, Panelbound Comics, their books are cheaper if you pre-order. They usually have really good pre-order sales or pre-order sale prices. So if you have a book that you're looking forward to later next year or later this year, They want to pre-order, it'll be a little bit cheaper. And again, those promo codes still apply there. But yes, Fantagraphics. Oh, while I'm pulling this up too, by the way, I will be on Near Mint Condition tomorrow night. I think it's at 6 o'clock or 6:30. Let me get the time on that. I think it's 6:30. But we'll be doing an Evergreen show, and it'll be on horror comics. So 6 p.m. 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. It'll be showing off our Evergreen horror comics. It's a big debate thing that Omar likes to do over there. I've been on the show previously, and I've been invited back on this time. He's invited me back on before too. For previous months, I just couldn't make it work in my calendar. But I mean, he reached out because he knew I was doing 31 Days of Horror Comics, I assume. And it's going to be a big panel. There's going to be like 8 people on it, which I will say, full transparency, I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube shows that have like a ton of people on them at once. Just because, I don't know, I feel like conversations get missed and things, and it's all muddled, and it's hard to talk over each other, and it's always hard to like play off of each other too, like to know when someone else is going to talk and when I'm going to talk and that kind of stuff. But I'm excited for this one because there's going to be a couple. I don't know if Omar's divulged the or let everybody know who the panel is going to be, so I don't want to speak out of turn in case schedules have gotten mixed up or anything. But I think we're going to have a couple big name horror comic writers on the show, on the panel. So that'll be exciting to be a part of. And I've already got my list. I already sent it in to him for my what 3 comic books I feel like should be evergreen in the horror genre. I think the parameters, because in the past he's done, I guess I should stop sharing my screen. Sorry. So I can actually talk to you guys. In the past he's done, what the heck is going on here? Like omnibuses. So it'd be like the 5 or the top 10 omnibuses that from, hold on a second. I don't know why it always does that to me. Okay. So in the past, he's done like evergreen, like the top 10 Fantastic Four omnibuses that should always be evergreen. And then all the panelists will bring 3 to the table, and then they'll debate on it, on which ones they should include. And then by the end of the stream, they have 10 as the list. These are the 10 Fantastic Four omnibuses that should be evergreen, or 10 X-Men omnibuses. So this time we're doing horror comics, which is a little bit broader because we're not just talking about specific collected editions. So I think the parameters that Crisis sent us for the thing, because he's usually like making the slideshow on the list. The parameters were, it's got to be a series that would fit into an 1,000 or plus page omnibus. So you can't say like, oh, I want Berserk, all 42 volumes of Berserk to be my evergreen horror comic, or I want 26 volumes of Hellblazer to be my horror comic, or things like that. So it's got to be something that you can fit into what would be an omnibus. So I've got my 3, and then maybe some other ones, but I'll be excited to be there. It'll be fun. Oh, here's the list. James says it. Omar, Crisis, Omnidog, and or Maddie. Why is it Omnidog or Maddie? Lars, me, Shannon Live of Bat City Comic Professionals. I'm not sure who that is. Carson from Living the Line. Great guy. He is a comic book writer and artist. Kenny Porter. Interesting. And Tony Fleece of Stray Dogs fame. So it is a big heavy hitter panel that you want to watch. They wasn't able to make it. Who? Oh wait, hold on. I'm missing some stuff here. Vagabond has some amazing texture. Hairball, that's the furry one that Matt King came out with. Thank you, Badger Stump, for joining me, by the way. Buy things over Panelbound Comics. Did you buy Swamp Thing? Omar said 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for adding in the Eastern. I forgot to add that. 6 p.m. Eastern. Yes. I will. Yell at Omar. YouTube.com/near-mint condition. You said creators of Harrow County were on it. No, that's what James is saying. They weren't able to make it. Yeah, he was going to have Colin Bunn, who's a friend of the channel, friend of Omar's channel, not mine. I'd love to be a friend of Colin Bunn's. But he's been on near-mint condition quite a bit, and he wasn't able to make it work for his schedule. I don't think Tyler Crook was ever mentioned as a possibility for this stream, but Colin Bunn was definitely in talks. Hope Jess is there. I agree. I love talking to Jess. Boo! Fit into an omnibus. That is a lot. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like the same thing as like the omnibus debates, right? Which 10 X-Men omnibuses should be evergreen. Omni Dog might be able to make it, so Maddie will take a spot. Okay. I was just wondering why can't they both be on it? Or is he wanting to limit to, instead of 15 people, 14 people? No, I'm just kidding. It'll be a lot of fun, though. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to have to bring in, I don't know, extra coffee, water, something. Those long streams, man, they're tough. Living the line? Okay. I've not met him personally, Harvey, but from my interactions with him, I have exchanged DMs with him. He's been great to me. All right. I know you have an issue with his opinions on his videos and things, and that's totally fair to you. It's your prerogative. I was late today. Clocks went back this week, and I forgot to remember. Oh, interesting. Cocaine might help. I don't know. The worst part is on these long streams, I will say, is the lack of bathroom breaks. Afterwards, I'm always running to the bathroom because I drink so much water during the stream. And so like when I'm on with like Jess and stuff, I'm like, whoa, like obviously I can just say like, hey guys, I gotta step out for a minute. But I don't know, I just get so tied up in it. But I'm becoming like the age where I can even, when I go to the movies, I have to always take a bathroom break in the middle of them. I guess I'm getting old. I do turn 38 in a couple weeks. So not even a couple weeks. 1, 2, 3. What is that? 12 days. 12 days is my birthday. I think StreamYard only allows 10 people. Oh, okay. That's the answer. James, you are a super producer. He hasn't told me to F off after I DM'd him stuff helpful to him, so he must be a great guy. Well, okay. Let's chill out. Like, I haven't never met him personally, so I don't know. He's fine to me in the DMs. I haven't met him. But yeah, if someone doesn't tell me to F off, sure, like they think they're a fine person, fine human. Sorry if my praise is a little hyperbolic, Harvey. Don't worry, I'll harass him enough for the whole team of people. No, okay. I will limit the amount of praise I expound upon someone unless I have met them in person and judged their whole life, Harvey. No, I'm just kidding, because I know you're kidding too. Or not kidding, but you're not being serious. Sorry, you're being serious, but you're not being angry. The people always think you're yelling and angry, and now you're not being angry. That's what I should say. I know you're very much serious. Wait, I told Harvey to F off before. Oh, really? Are you guys still friends? I think Harvey and Josh, I think you're both great guys. But let's get to the Fantagraphics conversation. While I pull this up. Yes, okay. Thank you, Harvey. That's what I was. I know you're being serious, but I couldn't think of the wording. Yes, you're just giving me grief over it, I will say, to keep it PG. I know you're just busting my chops. There we go. Okay, so up first on the Fantagraphics, this news was dropped last week or so, but they're reprinting all of the complete Peanuts. So they've been doing the reprints in paperback, which have been really cool looking, and I like the design of them. But the hardcovers have been slowly going out of print. And they're reprinting all of them, they've said. So up for pre-order on the Fantagraphics websites are volumes 1 through 16, I believe. Well, keep going. Yeah, 16. 1 through 16 are up for pre-order. So if you're missing out on any of those, missing those volumes, add them to your collection. These are the ones that are beautifully designed by Seth, the cartoonist Seth from Canada. Amazing eye for design, amazingly designed books. All of them have cool introductions from, like, I just read Alec Baldwin. I was going to say Alec Baldwin. He's a great guy. Just kidding, Harvey. Don't kill me. But we have introductions by, like, Al Roker. I think Barack Obama did one of them. Trying to see. John Waters. Whoopi Goldberg did one of them. Matt Groening. Walter Cronkite. Sorry. All right. So there's a bunch of different people all throughout history and life. All great people, by the way. All great, amazing human beings. That was a joke. But really cool. Lynn Johnston. Really cool introductions, and all of them. I think that's kind of a cool piece to read all these really famous people and their experiences with Peanuts, because everyone, I'd be shocked if everyone in America doesn't have some sort of experience with Peanuts, either via the comic strips, which I hopefully is that case, or even the holiday specials that they've come out with. But it's a lot of fun to read those early ones too. Thankfully, my public library has every volume, and I hope they keep them. They're kind of in bad shape, so hopefully they don't just sell them off without me knowing. But I've been slowly kind of checking them out and reading them every volume like that, because I don't have the shelf space for 30 volumes of Peanuts, unfortunately. But I'm glad my library has them, because I've almost thought about the idea, because I'm running out of shelf space, of like, can I have a dedicated shelf at the public library where people could check out my books, but I have my collection here where I can check them out whenever I need to. I don't know. But Space Hawk, we talked about this last week, I believe. It's getting a reprint. We still don't have a date on the reprint yet, though. No date on the Peanuts either. They're all listed with their original sale date, but the pre-order's up and ready to go. And then these are all the books that we've talked about before. I will say a special note, Tales of Paranoia, the first single issue comic in 20 years by Robert Crumb, is coming out next week. So don't miss out on that. November 5th that is coming out. Oh man, I have some of these books that I need to read for reviews. Why don't I do that real quick? I'll tell you a little bit. Tell me a story where the bad girl wins. That's also being reprinted. I didn't realize that went out of print. I do have a video on that I did last year. Turn Loose Our Death Rays and Kill Them All, the complete works of Fletcher Hanks, comes out next week. I didn't get a review copy. I already have the hardcover, but I am thinking about doing an overview of it, because it's the same contents, just one's paperback, one's hardcover. But I am thinking about doing an overview of that, because it's a cool book. It's a cool book. Shadows of the Sea, I got a review copy of that. Tommy Parrish, The Past is a Grotesque Animal. I have a review copy of Dog Tangle. So those reviews will be coming out next week as well. I still need to catch up too, because I have the what is it? I can't think of it. I still have a book to review from last week, by the way, and one of the Carl Barks books. And then in November, I can't remember if I got a review copy of Comfortless or not, but I did get Lovers and Haters, the Gilbert Hernandez book. There's some single issues of some Duck comics there. Trying to see other books that I've received review copies of so far. I got Search and Destroy to Volume 3, so that'll be the end of November. Duck Avenger, that'll be early December. I got that one. I think that's all I've received so far. Oh no, there's one other one. Locust, I can't wait to get that book. The Pass. I got this book last week, so I got it real early. That doesn't come out until January 20th. All All right, but this is the new stuff that hasn't been talked about yet. The new stuff that'll be in the next catalog. First, so next year they're celebrating is it the 50th anniversary of Fantagraphics? Yes, the 50th anniversary of Fantagraphics is 2026. So they are, I believe that's right. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the 50th anniversary next year. So every month they're going to release a facsimile edition of one of their books, one of the previous single issues that was important to their history. So the first of that is Love and Rockets, Volume 1, Number 1. I feel like I'm going to pick this up anyways, even though I have the box set where the facsimile edition is in there. I don't own an actual copy of Volume 1, Number 1. And it's only $10. And this is like one of the best comics ever. One of my favorite comic book series ever. One of my favorite comic book covers ever. So I feel like I need to have this and put it on display somewhere. But that's the first one. They say every month they're going to release a different facsimile edition of a new book or new comic. So I'm assuming like some 8-Ball will be in there. Maybe some Hate or Neat stuff will be in there. Maybe Acme Novelty Library. Maybe Black Hole, because they did do the single issues of those. I don't know. But it's still pretty cool to look forward to. I do love this trend of facsimile editions, by the way. And there are some publishers that do better jobs of them than others. Can't say I love the holographic shiny covers of the facsimile editions. I think Marvel and DC both do those. But it's just cool to be able to have like the single issue of some of these books that you're never going to be able to get your hands on the actual copy because they're so expensive. You know what would have been cool is if they did a facsimile edition of like the original issue number 1 of Love and Rockets that they sent to Gary Groth. That would have been cool. Those go for big bucks. But that's just me talking out loud or thinking out loud. Some of these other ones were already in the calendar. Catalog, I'm sorry. This was in the catalog, but not the 2 different versions. So Bitchy, The Exasperating Existence of Midge McCracken, they have a signed hardcover version. Now in the catalog, we talked about the paperback version, which you see in the middle of the screen there. But when the catalog was out, we did not see that yet. So I did notice that the signed hardcover version is available as well. And I think it's $34 more for the signed one and hardcover. The Adventures into Weird Worlds, that book was in the last catalog, but this has a new cover now. So they changed the cover. Dr. Vassallo specifically requested a new cover, and Ian Chalgren and team who's designing the book obliged, and they put this Bill Everett cover on the front, which is really cool. And then there's a Joe Maneely art piece on the back. These were all on the last catalog. All right, here we go. What We Mean by Yesterday, Volume 2 by Benjamin Mara. This was not in the last catalog, and this is Volume 2. I still need to finish reading Volume 1 and probably do a review on it. Benjamin Mara, I need to do a Benjamin Mara video because I love his comics, and I think I have every collected edition that they've released of his comics. I don't have like all the single issues of mini comics he's done over the years. But this is Volume 2. This is the daily Instagram comic that he's been releasing, which he started in the pandemic in 2020. There's a lot of cartoonists that did a daily comic during the pandemic, which was really cool. But Volume 1, so far it's been really good. I really enjoy it. But he did this as like a practice to try to draw faster and see if he can do a daily comic. And Volume 2, I guess it says, like, if you're expecting the second volume of Benjamin Mara to pick up exactly where Volume 1 left off, think again. So he kind of diverts into this other story, it looks like. I've not been following the daily comic because I like to read physical copies. And I was hoping that he'd release a Volume 2. So I'll be looking forward to that. We got Hate Volume 3. I don't think this was announced. Yeah, this is new. So this is the concluding volume of Hate. We talked about this before. They're printing these nice paperbacks. I've seen one in stores, but I don't own them because I have the box set and I didn't get review copies of them, which is totally fine. I didn't need a review copy because I had the box set. But these are really nice editions, and each volume so far has mirrored the contents of the hardcover version because the box set is 3 hardcovers. So this will be the 3rd volume, and it collects there's 9 annuals in the special. I always mix this up. Yeah, nine annuals, and then there's like a special issue in there as well. And that'll be the concluding volume. So there'll be 3 volumes to conclude all of Hate. So that'll be coming out. Prince Valiant, they're all the way up into 1998, which is amazing. This book looks cool. And it's a volume 1, so that's always interesting to look at. But I'm not familiar with this cartoonist, and I like his style. The end of the Arab of the future, a youth in the Middle East. Eagerly anticipated by American readers, Riyad Sattouf concludes his internationally award-winning graphic memoir series, Arab of the Future. So this is volume 1. It says the first book in a 2-volume series. Oh, so this is... I've not read any of Arab of the Future, so that's a previous series that's been released. I don't think through Fantagraphics. Has that been translated? Does anybody know? I'm not going to go through every single book, because I'll do that when I get the catalog officially. Nancy, I'm glad I was afraid. I'm glad they're doing this. So Nancy for All Seasons. These are the new paperback editions that are designed amazingly by Kayla E., who did Precious Rubbish. And the first volume was so much fun. I love the way it was designed, and I love these strips. I don't own any full collections of Ernie Bushmiller, Nancy. I own like multiple books about Ernie Bushmiller and about Ernie Bushmiller's Nancy. I think I own 3 books about them. And I've read plenty of strips online and things, but I want a full definitive collection of all of his strips. And this is the 2nd volume of a new series. So I'm hoping that they start pumping these out. These will collect the strips from 1953 through 1954. And it looks like it's the similar design as the first one. Shock Treatment and Other Stories. This is the next of the EC Artist Library collection. The hardcovers that I've shown off a million times on my channel. I absolutely love this series of hardcovers. It's one of my pride and joys of my collection. And excuse me, I cannot talk. This is the next volume, and it's going to collect Shock Suspense, or not Shock Suspense, sorry. These are like the Post Comics Code Authority volumes. The Psychology series, where it, what are the books called? I'm drawing a blank here. It's a new direction line. Oh, Psychoanalysis and MD. That's what it is. And there's lots of artists listed on this one, not just one. We got Jack Kamen, George Evans, Reed Crandall, Graham Ingalls, Joe Orlando. And I think we're getting to that point because I talked to Tommy, the EC fan addict, Tommy Burns, and asked him how many more volumes we can expect. And he said 5 more, he thinks. So now we're getting to the point where they're trying to pack in all of the stuff that didn't fit into its own volume. Like there's not enough of these new direction stories of Jack Kamen to put in one volume of George Evans. So they're packing them all into one. So it's really cool. And I'm excited to conclude this line over the next few years, probably. It'll probably take 2 or 3 years to finish it. Another Katie Skelly book. This is exciting. The last one we got from her was Maids, and that was a few years ago. But this is called Heaven. It looks awesome on the cover. Katie Skelly is a really, really fun cartoonist if you've not read any of her comics. Yeah, it says Maids came out in 2020. So it's been a while. But this is a surreal supernatural book, so it's right up my alley. This will be out in July. Wandering Sun, volumes 1 and 2. Is it a 2-in-1? Yeah, newly designed paperback. So this is a really famous manga from a LGBTQ plus creator. I've not read this before, but it's a sensitive masterpiece, it says. And I know that I have heard of the praise that people have talked about this book and things. So I am interested in that. It's a superb coming-of-age story. Wandering Sun is a sophisticated work of literary manga translated with the rare skill and sensitivity by veteran translator and comic scholar Rachel Thorne. So I do love that they worded it that way. With rare skill and sensitivity. Because translating is there's an art to translating. I think I've talked about this before. It's not just like pumping it into a Google translator machine. Like the translator does have the ability to change things, or like their goal is to make it as to keep the fidelity of what the original story is from the writer, but they could change things if they wanted to, I guess. This is exciting. I'm a huge fan of Jacques Tardy, and I missed out on all the Adele Blanc-Sec books. So now they're doing them in these new hardcovers, and they're going to collect all of them. So I think that previously they only did like 2 volumes, and I think there's going to be 4 total, it says. Let me read here. Complete 10-episode run for the first time. Luxury hardcover editions. First 4, 15 years ago. This year's we're bringing the complete. Okay, so they've previously released collected 4 volumes, and now the whole 10-episode run will be collected in English for the first time. And I think that's across multiple books, though. Yeah, because this is volume 1. I don't know how many volumes. I thought it had listed how many volumes there will be. Regardless, I love Jacques Tardy, and these are some of the few comics I have not read from him that have been translated to English. So I'm excited these are being reprinted in new editions. Peep Show is a big one. I think this is my favorite single issue comic last year was Peep Show number 15, the posthumously released. We sadly lost Joe Matt last year. He passed away. And he had a one-man anthology series of single issues that came out called Peep Show. And this will collect in is it paperback or hardcover? Hardcover, 464 pages, all 15 issues. So the first 14 issues that came out, and then the 15th one that was posthumously released. And they're painstakingly restored facsimile of the original issues. Fantagraphics only does amazing jobs with the book design. I'm assuming by that they'll mean that they'll have like glossy covers and matte interiors like they did with 8 Ball, and they've done with other books like Ivan Brunetti's, what's that called that I have? No, it's not Misery Loves Company. Misery Loves Comedy. Schizo. The Schizo issues that he did. They did that with the 11 Rockets box set. And I love that attention to detail. Web of Horror, shout out to Dana, also has like the glossy covers with the matte interiors of facsimile edition. This is an exciting one. So this is Mega Hex Perfect Edition Volume 1. So a little tease. This will not be the last you see of Megan Mogg on this channel today. So that's a little tease for you. But these are new editions collecting the Megan Mogg stories in chronological order of the perfect reading order from Simon Hanselman. So what this seems to me is that these will be kind of like the Love and Rockets library. If you have those like paperbacks that were designed by Jacob Covey that have like the cool black and white panels on the spines and things, and they collect like one volume will be like Jaime stories, the next volume will be Gilbert stories. I think this is going to kind of mirror that type of experience in collected edition. So I don't know how much new content will be in this if you have all the Megan Mogg collected editions from Fantagraphics. So I'm very curious about that. Simon Hanselman is a workhorse, and he puts out so many great mini comics and things and has over the years. So I don't know if they'll have like cool little extras in here or whatnot, but this will be volume 1, and it'll be 300 pages, soft paperback, full color. And the dimensions even, I think 5.75 by 8.25. I think that's the same dimensions as the Love and Rockets box set. But these are really cool. These are, to me, the best modern underground comics with an X, in my opinion, as far as like pushing the boundaries of what you can do with comics and comic book content and things. I think it's got the true spirit of the original underground comics of yesteryear, but taken up a notch and done with a modernization and a more of a millennial attitude and millennial tradition. But I really love these comics. So I'll be curious what this edition ends up looking like. And then Bimbo. This one I'm super stoked for. I'm already hyping this book up. It's going to be one of the best books of the year, I think. This is by Raquel Jack. This is a debut graphic novel. Put this on your radar. So this is, I think, the precursor for this, or the pilot episode. I don't think that what we saw in now, I think now number 9, it might have been now number 8 or 9. Raquel Jack like almost took over the whole anthology issue. Now the anthology now in OW is Fantagraphics' current anthology where they have a bunch of different cartoonists do strips for them. And I think it was issue number 8 or 9. But Raquel Jack had this long story throughout it, and it was awesome, and I absolutely loved it. And she's been working on this for a number of years. Like, this is supposed to have been released a couple years ago, I think, and she's just been adding to it. Things have happened in her life too, where she's had to delay the project and whatever. But it's finally coming out August 2026, called Bimbo Agitprop. I don't know how to Agitprop. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it'll be 360 pages, soft cover, full color. Her artwork is amazing. Also, kind of reminds me. It says right here too, the tradition of Aileen Kaminsky-Crumb and Phoebe Glockner. Her artwork really does remind me of like the original women's underground comics of like, you know, Aileen Crumb, Phoebe Glockner, the women's comics scene, Julie Doucet even. So I'm really, really excited to read that one. That's definitely one of my most anticipated books next year. Book 1 of Grimm from John Ken Mortensen. The Weird meets the Weird. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it just Weird? W-Y-R-D? That's like a Lovecraftian thing, isn't it? But John Ken Mortensen has done a few books for Fantagraphics. His art's amazing. He put out The Wrestler earlier this year, which I did a video on. And this looks to be a new series that he's working on that's covering the Grimm fairy tales. And this will be a hardback, 224 pages, black and white. Really, really great artwork from John Ken Mortensen. We're getting the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, the final volume, called The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers Break Up and Other Follies. The last volume, which I think is 7 total. Yeah, but it'll be 200 pages. This is collecting all the latter year stuff that they did, 192 pages. These are really, really beautifully designed books as well. They have a die-cut cover. I'm excited to have all of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers on my shelf. Again, I keep talking about the underground comic scene. These were Gilbert Sheridan and Paul Mavrides were of the original underground comic scene. Gilbert Shulton had a lot of comics in the original Zap comics. And then this one I'm excited about because Macanudo is a series I've been wanting to read. This is like a modern comic strip. It says it's in the same tradition and line of like Crazy Cat and things, and it looks really great. But this is the box set collecting the first 3 books, so I've missed out on those books. So I'm excited to pick this up. This will be really cool to see. I don't know if it's over though. Does anybody know if is that done, or is this just collecting the first 3 and then there'll be more? Let me know if you read Macanudo. And that's it. Another Pogo volume 9. So I'm sure you guys have a lot of chat comments, right? Okay, there we go. So let me know what you guys think about all those in the chat. Looks like everybody's filled up the chat, which is great. I run a lot of illegal. Wait a second. Never mind. Thank you. Okay. You have to look them in the eye and take the measure of their life, really drink it in, and then you can have an opinion. Yes, yes. Serious about Carson, not actually pissed at you. Yes, that's what I meant, Harvey. I was trying to say, I know you're serious about what you said about Carson, but I know you're just busting my chops. That's the word I was trying to think of, because sometimes viewers can see your all caps language and think that you're like this angry, vindictive, like, on these shows. But I know that you not only mean well, but you're just busting my chops. You're not like, Taylor's an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you are. I don't know. You have to obsessively watch all of his reviews, and then I'll allow you to take an opinion on him, at least. I don't watch all his reviews, but I have watched a number of them. I do love how often Fanta reprints. I agree. Taylor, Peanuts are not worth the shelf space. That's not what I said. Josh, I don't have unlimited shelf space. That's the best way to keep them in the library. Check them out so the system sees there is a demand to keep them in the library. That's true. But I always have these, you always hear those stories too, where libraries just like dump off a bunch of books into those library sales. And I've also heard like people like will donate like comic fans will donate a bunch of their old collected editions to the library, and then they find out the library just threw them into one of those library sales. Like if I donate my books to the library, I want them to be on the shelf for other people to enjoy. I understand if they're in bad shape. Like obviously they're going to get rid of them, but I want to donate ones that are in good shape. When it comes to living the line, there's great people on both sides from what I heard. Interesting. Same contents, yeah, but the texture on that Hank hardcover or Fletcher Hank's hardcover. Yeah, I don't know if that texture will be there with the soft cover. I've not seen it. I assume it'll be a flexi cover. Just imagining it will be with the French flaps possibly. But yeah, the texture on only half the hardcover, it's a beautiful book. I have it over there if you guys want to see me show it off again. Corto's Volume 2 get announced? Not yet, but Fantagraphics did put out a what do you call it? Press release saying that they're committed to printing the whole series. Dang, jealous. Would love to get to read those books early. It is exciting. I don't take it for granted when I get review copies. But I also don't read them too soon, too early. I'd love to, but I've found this out too. Like if I go to review a book I read a few years ago, I forget a lot of things, especially character names and things. So, and I do my best reviews, I feel like, when I do the review right after reading it. Like the Nocturnos review that I did the other day. I literally closed the book and then went into my studio and filmed the review for it. And I felt like I was able to say and express what I was feeling when I read the book in a better way that way. Chris, you do have a YouTube channel. Start making videos. There you go, Chris. You're on it. I would like any one of you viewers to start a YouTube channel. Jordan, I know you do. You have a YouTube channel, Jordan. If one of the moderators can plug it, where he goes through his the books that he's making, which is really cool. But I feel like the viewership of this show all have really good taste in comics, and that's what we need more of on YouTube. We need to start pumping YouTube full of the comics that we all enjoy, so it's not just covered in like absolute Batman on every other video. Yes, that was shots fired. That Art and Beauty Crumb book is great. I have the original printing of the hardcover. I don't have the original printing, so I'm excited to get that book. But do you have the newspaper-sized American Psycho? I don't. That's one I'm missing. I saw that pop up on eBay recently too, by the way, and I almost bought it. But yes, Benjamin Morrow. I don't have that one. There's a lot of like rare Benjamin Morrow stuff I don't own, as far as like that kind of stuff goes. I have the Amok, which is that needs to be reprinted. Like, that's super out of print. Yes, Heir of the Future has been translated. They've been released by Metropolitan Books. Okay, thank you for that news. Jordan, I don't have that, but I need it. Are they getting to the end of these? The end of which ones? You really do, Harvey. It's something you have to just hold. I'm buying all 3 books on the screen. I love the Adele Blanc-Sec books, and the Bresson adaptation is great. Same Harv, I'm in for all 3 of these. I will buy every Simon Hanselman book published, whether I have it already or not. I just got my Devil's Grin number 7 issue, and also both large and smaller format. Oh, we got both formats. I did like that she did that. Alex Graham, because the original ones were in like almost magazine format. And then... But the book, when it was printed, the collected edition that collected the first 6 issues is smaller. So she had the idea of like, do I keep going with the bigger ones so that people that have already collected the first 6 issues can have matching ones? Or do I just print it as smaller because it's going to be smaller anyways? By the way, I hope everyone gets your Crickets number 9 pre-order in before November 1st so you can get the free bonus zine. Yes, I saw that he released what it looks like and things. Looks cool. Yeah, the Bimbo book looks intriguing. I'm definitely getting it. They haven't done a new issue now in a while. I wonder what's going on. They had only one issue last year, I think. And I do wonder what's going on too. Like, it seems like those anthologies that because they have a big history of Fantagraphics doing these anthologies. Like Mome was one that lasted over 20 issues or 20 volumes. And I think it's good for them to always have these kind of like ongoing anthologies, to have these up and coming cartoonists that don't have maybe enough material to do their own full book, or are maybe just trying to get some more eyeballs on their work so that maybe Fantagraphics can publish their work later. So I hope if they stop now, they at least introduce something else in its place. Agit as an agitation. Okay. Got it. Prop as in propaganda. Oh. All right. Basically mean, oh, sorry. It's basically aggressively getting out and promoting ideas, which I know Raquel Jack is definitely for that. She's always being part of like protests and things. She's a good follow on Instagram. Same, I keep meaning to read Macanudo. Macanudo seems like I'd love it, but I haven't got around to it yet. That's exactly how I feel. Have you read Reflections by Marco Corona? I've not. I'm always working on my agitprop towards Taylor. You are. You have floors? What are floors? But the final shelf? Yes. What are you talking about? The library, or my public library, or my house? But the final shelf. A Great Peanuts book is a Snoopy World War I Flying Ace collection. If you donate books to me, they will go on a shelf. But then I can't access them either. And I do, because I'm only turning 38 in 12 days. So I'm not thinking I'm going to die anytime soon. But eventually my time will come. And I either want my wife to sell off my books so that she can get some money for the family or for herself. But I want someone to help her sell them off. Or I want them to be donated to a library. I want them to be in a library where people can actually check them out and enjoy them. Or maybe a combination of both. That's Snoopy versus Red Baron collection, Harvey. Yeah, that's the one. I will never start a YouTube channel, or will I? Harvey, I feel like you should. I feel like you've got a lot of strong opinions in a lot of great taste in comics. Match those up together. You could be like the Howard Stern of indie and self-published comics. Mr. Fancy Pants Jordan needs more videos. Here's Jordan's YouTube channel. Everybody go subscribe, comment, thumbs up, share. Maybe encourage Jordan to make more content, more videos. I'm assuming it is, because that's the exact same link that Josh just posted. Taylor wants to start pumping YouTube full of our enjoyment. I don't know if is that like sexual? What are you saying there? Yeah, well, I've got 3 more binds I can make videos of, Josh. Yes, Jordan. Do it. I missed that, Josh. I don't have a YouTube channel. You're mistaking me for someone else. I should probably start making some for my older projects. Absolutely. I want to see all of your stuff. I want to see flip throughs of your stuff, because you put a lot into book design. You don't just slap a dust jacket on a new book or on an already made book. You should make a how-to for basics. I agree. Jordan, I've been meaning to ask you too, which I guess I can ask in DMs, but because I think this is a weird thing that I think that I saw on the Unbound Facebook group that we're a part of together. I think I saw, did you do the mock VHS covers of like the Godzilla books? Because I absolutely loved and adored those designs. This was from like a few years ago. I think you shared those on. And it was actually what I was going to, the inspiration for my Master Kung Fu that I want to do eventually. Because I want my Master Kung Fu, I want each volume to look almost like a different VHS box set of a Kung Fu movie. And to where they almost look like they're not even of the same set, if that makes sense. To where it looks like someone just has a collection of awesome Kung Fu movies. That's my idea for them. So but I think that was you, because that was kind of the inspiration for that. Was that I think you did those VHS covers. I thought they were super awesome. I mean, you did lives with Jake. Oh, okay, that's not me. Sorry, that is a different Chris. Oh yeah, Josh, that's a different Chris. That's Chris. I forget his last name. That's awful. Chris. He he has a podcast called Marvel Alliance. I know that. I only know his first name. I can picture his face in my head. Now 13 came out June 2024, and it was a banger. Yeah, so they have and nothing announced. Nothing came out. Okay, so nothing came out in 2025 because nothing's announced. Chris Balga, that's the name. Chris Balga, Chris Brogan, kind of similar. Yeah, so it'll be over a year unless now it's dumb. Whoops, sorry. Okay. Psycho Cleveland started a YouTube channel, then gets his own Heartbeat Beaker's Ghost. Dun, dun, dun. Those are mine. I have a shelf of VHS books for movie adaptations. Yes, because I think Chris Balga, yes. I think when he posted your stuff in Discord, again, Discord, follow it, join us on chatting about comics. There's a lot of cool people in there that have great collections and great, opinions on comics and what they're reading and things. It's a great group. I feel like we're kind of culling together. I think there's less than 100 people in there. So I think if it gets too big, eventually it'll probably, so I've not had, whatever. It's great. It's a great follow, great group. Join it. But when you shared your collection of your custom stuff, that's what it dawned on me. I was like, oh, Jordan is the same guy that did those VHS covers. So I've been a fan of your book design, Jordan, for a long time, because that was like a few years ago. You posted, I think your first one you posted in there was maybe Godzilla, and then you posted, RoboCop, Nightbreed, Hellraiser. And that's, I was like, man, that is such an awesome idea. That's what I want to do from a Master Kung Fu collection. Because I think it'll end up being 5 or 6 volumes. Probably 6 if I do comfortably 20 issues per volume, because they're all single issues. But what's the name of the Facebook bookbinding page? I think it's Unbound. Let me see. It is a great group because it's all just people doing custom binds of books and stuff. And it's just even if you're not into personally doing custom binds, it's fun to follow other people that are. Let me get the official name here. It's called Unbound Omnibus, the market and network for custom ... graphic novels. Unbound Omnibus. I'll just type it in the chat. Because I know sometimes Facebook's finicky where you have to get the exact name in there, or else it won't. It won't put it in the search bar. So that's the exact name of the group, Dana. It's Unbound Omnibus, the market and network for custom. Oh, James already beat me. Oh, James and Josh already beat me. Unbound Omnibus. Yes. Can't send invite. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is that is, but Dana, they should put you in there. You've got a history with great comics that you've helped release, and I don't think you did the design on Web of Horror, and I know Dan Clouts did the design on the other one, but you've got definitely a good eye for design, that's for sure. Yep, found it, thanks. So they should let you in there. If not, let me know and I can message somebody. I don't know who, but I'll message somebody. I think that's it. There are some books that have popped up that haven't been officially listed on Fantagraphics yet. Like there's a Carl Bark Studio Edition that's coming out, which I'm super stoked for. So the Artist Edition, I don't know why I'm doing quotes, that Fantagraphics puts out, they call it the Studio Edition. Like they've released one for Ed Piskor, Jaime Hernandez, Dan Klaus, Charles Burns, which is my most wanted. I missed out on that. I don't have it, where it's a bunch of his black hole pages. So they do studio editions, and they're releasing a Carl Barks Studio Edition, which is amazing. I can't wait to see that. Apparently they have unreleased stories and pages that'll be in it as well. I don't know how big that book's going to be. It's going to be beautiful, though. I can only imagine. So that's one I'm really excited about that hasn't been listed on their official website yet. And then it's the Lost Marvels. Lost Marvels Volume 4 will be Gil Kane. So Volume 1 was the Tower of Darkness. Is that what it's called? Volume 2 was the Howard Chaykin. Volume 3 is going to be Barry Windsor Smith. Volume 4 is going to be Gil Kane. And it's Gil Kane Volume 1. So there'll be more Gil Kane after that. Just the same as there will be more Chaykin and more Barry Windsor Smith. Those are both listed as Volume 1s as well. And then I think I think that's it for Fantagraphics, at least. But the catalog they're putting together is amazing. I cannot wait to actually see the full calendar. Let me scope my DMs because Kenny who is always on top of these things, is really great about informing me of what books hit the catalogs. Carl Barks Studio Edition. Oh, the Walt Disney Masters Volume 28 will be out. Disney Afternoon Adventures Volume 7, which will have Chippendale Rescue Rangers on the cover. That one I already showed. Trying to see if there's any more. I think these are all the ones I just went through. Creepshow, Nancy. Yeah, so they're putting together the catalog. It'll be out soon, I assume. And I'll do a full catalog video like I always do. Some of my favorite videos I do every year. They do 3 catalogs a year. And every time I like to do a video on it. I need to add drawn and quarterly catalogs, videos. And if there's any publisher that actually puts out a catalog like that, I'll do a video on it. I like to do that. But yes, so I'm going to get out of here. But put any last minute things in the chat and I'll address those before I close it out. So while I'm doing my last minute plugs, put in the last minute chats. But yes, I will be on Nearmic Edition tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern. Just go to youtube.com/Nearmic Edition. I'm sure you know of them if you know who I am. I'll be on there. We're going to be arguing and chatting and debating about what horror comics should be evergreen. So I'm going to present my 3 that I think, and then everyone else will put 3 in there. And then by the end of the stream, we'll have the final 10 horror comics that should be evergreen. And I hope that these guys and gals, the people that are going to be on the stream, I hope they come with good ones. I don't want to end the stream with 10 evergreen horror comics and have a few of them be like, what the heck is that in there for? So follow me there. Follow me on all the social media. That's all down in the comment or in the description of this video. Discord, all that jazz. I have 3 more videos to put out for the Halloween season. There'll be one out later this afternoon, tomorrow, and then on Halloween will be the last one. It'll be my 31 days of horror comics. So make sure you comment on those and give them a thumbs up, support, share them, whatever you want to do. And all that's appreciated. If you're watching this on replay, comment down below. I always reply to comments on those. I reply to all the comments on my videos. I really do appreciate that. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Jordan should post more in the Discord. Couple hold custom channel on the Discord. Cough. Oh, we could do a custom bound book design channel on there. I could do that. Loud and clear, Josh. Tower of Shadows. Thank you, Bedra Stump. Wonder if they will be artist focused from here on out. The Lost Marvels? Possibly. We have the Savage Tales one coming out later this year. What's that? Maybe I got my volumes wrong. Maybe the Gil Kane one's volume 5. The Savage Tales is a series of single issues. Oh yeah, the Bark Studio edition. Chris, have a nice day. Have a nice day to you as well. Can we expect videos in November? Yes. I'm going to do some videos I have planned. I'm going to do my top 10 favorite design books. That'll be a video. I'm going to do a video on Slaughterhouse 5, the graphic novel adaptation, because I just finished the prose book. So I'm going to read that comic. Some of the videos I have planned. Obviously, I have my review copies of Fantagraphics. I went over those earlier as well. But yes, I plan. I don't want to keep going with the momentum that my channel's getting. From last year, I didn't do so good. November, I kind of fell off because I was so exhausted from videos. But I want to keep the momentum going. I'm looking forward to what Taylor meant when he said we'll be hearing Simon Hanselman's name again towards the end of the video. Not the end of this video. Later today on this channel, you'll hear Simon Hanselman's name again and maybe see some of his books, possibly. Hint, hint. Absolute Batman is going to be top pick for Evergreen tomorrow. It better not be. I'll just walk off. Hope one of Taylor's Evergreens is Providence by Moore and Burroughs. It's not, but that is a great book. Thanks, Taylor. Till next time. Oh, yes. So thank you guys. Have a great day and keep talking comics.